With us here in the studio is Evan Lawrence, who's a security and counter-terrorism specialist at Staffordshire University. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. John Simpson there was talking about the brutality of Islamic State. There was a hope, wasn't there, in this instance, with the appeals that have been made, not just by Mr. Henning's family, but also by a broad range of the Muslim community, Muslim leaders, that actually there might be some clemency.
Yeah, I think there was that hope existed because the Muslim community in the UK and in the West are where ISIS is trying to recruit from, and they're trying to gain ground and support for the Islamic Caliphate in Iraq and Syria for that region within our populations here in the West. And I think that because the population here in the UK and in the US and around the world came out so strongly opposed to the threats against Alan and subsequently his now death, that it gave them pause to think about what they were actually doing before they continued on their course.
Is the timing of this video significant in any way?
There's speculation about it. I don't think so personally.
John says they want to be feared there. Does the West have the right tactic when approaching this situation? Because how do you defend yourself or attack someone who does want to be feared, who isn't afraid of dying?
Well, that's a really difficult question, and obviously there are no easy answers in this case or in any case like this. So we end up with, at the moment, the airstrikes have been fairly effective, but they're only a short-term solution. And as we go on in time, they're going to be less effective.
And is there a sense that the coalition are now being drawn into an escalation of this
Yeah,
situation?
I think that's definitely the case. We're going to, at some point, see boots on the ground. There's no way around it. If we're going to effectively deal with ISIS and with the situation in Syria, we can't do that without having boots on the ground to do so.
David Cameron has just put out a tweet. We're expecting a statement from him. We've had a statement. We're expecting him to speak on camera in the next hour or so. He said, "I'm meeting security chiefs this morning to discuss the barbaric murder of Alan Henning. His killers will be hunted down and face justice." Clearly, you've just talked about boots on the ground. The only way they're actually going to hunt the people responsible down is to go after them.
Yeah. Well, I think we'd be very naive to think that there aren't already at least some boots on the ground with the security services, with special forces, things like that. Of course, there's no large-scale boots on the ground. But I think also when he's talking about hunting them down, we're looking at data and security posts and things like that for airstrikes as well, that it's possible to, find these people and then conduct airstrikes as one way of doing it without boots on the ground.
That has happened. The guy who was thought to have beheaded Ken Bigley was killed in an airstrike, wasn't he, 10 years ago? But people, historically, we've not been that successful in hunting people down and bringing them to justice.
Unfortunately, that is kind of one of the drawbacks of this kind of situation is while they remain out there, there's not a whole lot that we can do. You can put them on watch lists, and so if they were to ever travel, and their passport will come up and things like that. But if they stay where they are, it's very difficult for us to bring them to justice and have a trial and those kind of things.
Evan Lawrence, thank you very much for your time this morning. It is now 20 minutes.